Welcome to our channel Valuable Coins All World. In this video, I gave you information about United States of America Washington quarter dollar, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please see this full video. Thanks. Top 1. Have you ever looked closely at a coin in your hand and wondered if it could be worth a fortune? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. A simple coin that was once just spare change for some people might now be worth more than most luxury cars. So let's dive into the incredible story of the 1971 Eisenhower $1 coin. The Eisenhower dollar is a coin that carries more than just monetary value. It holds history. Issued by the United States Mint starting in 1971, this coin was a tribute to one of America's most iconic figures, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. It marked a shift in American coinage and became an instant part of U.S. currency history. Eisenhower, a five-star general during World War II and the 34th President of the United States, was honored with this coin after his passing in 1969. His legacy was immortalized on the obverse side of the coin, forever securing his image in the hands and pockets of millions of Americans. The coin was also unique in another way. It was the first $1 coin issued by the United States since the peace dollar was discontinued in 1935. That's a gap of more than 35 years, making its arrival all the more special. Unlike previous dollar coins that were made from silver, most Eisenhower dollars were minted with a copper-nickel-clad composition. However, there were special versions struck in 40% silver for collectors. These are the ones that often fetch higher prices today. The Eisenhower dollar also holds the distinction of being the last large-sized dollar coin struck for circulation. Later dollar coins, like the Susan B. Anthony and Sacagawea dollars, were much smaller in size. When the coin was introduced in 1971, it was met with both enthusiasm and skepticism. Some people loved the tribute to Eisenhower, while others felt the coin was too large and cumbersome for everyday use. Still, the coin began circulating widely. Millions were produced and released, making it a familiar sight in the early 1970s. But even among millions, a few coins were struck with errors or unique characteristics that now make them extremely valuable. Now, you might be wondering what could make a coin like this so special. After all, it was mass-produced. But as with many collectibles, rarity, condition, and historical significance can skyrocket a coin's value. In the case of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar, there are specific varieties and rare minting errors that collectors crave. These include die varieties, wrong planchet strikes, and coins that were struck in proof condition under special circumstances. One of the most famous and highly sought-after varieties is the 1971 Eisenhower dollar struck in 40% silver. The S mint mark stands for the San Francisco Mint, where these collector editions were produced. But there's more. Some 1971 Eisenhower dollars have a specific type of die known as the Friendly Eagle reverse. This version features a slightly different design of the eagle landing on the moon, which collectors identify as unique. Another key factor that influences a coin's value is its condition. Coins that have been preserved in mint or near-mint condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, are the ones that can sell for a staggering amount of money. Grading services like PCGS and NGC provide professional evaluations that authenticate and assign a numeric value to a coin's condition. Coins that score higher on this scale are incredibly rare and valuable. Collectors often search for these high-grade specimens. They may come from original mint sets or have been carefully stored for decades. These coins retain their original luster, show no signs of wear, and look almost brand new. Another exciting part of coin collecting is the thrill of the hunt. You could technically stumble across one of these rare coins in your own collection or in a jar of spare change sitting at home. Believe it or not, people have found valuable Eisenhower dollars in unlikely places, estate sales, coin shows, or tucked away in a forgotten coin folder in their attic. That's what makes numismatics, the study and collection of coins, such a captivating hobby. Now, let's talk about mint errors. Errors can happen during the minting process, and when they do, they can turn an ordinary coin into a highly prized treasure. These include double dies, off-center strikes, and incorrect planchets. Some 1971 Eisenhower dollars were mistakenly struck on silver planchets meant for collector coins, but ended up being released into general circulation. These rare accidents create coins that are nearly impossible to find, and when found, they're worth a fortune. One of the most intriguing elements of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is how the value has increased over time. What was once just a dollar in your pocket might now be valued at hundreds, thousands, or even more depending on its rarity and condition. It's not just American collectors who are fascinated with this coin. Coin collectors from around the world seek out the 1971 Eisenhower dollar due to its historical context, design, and limited special editions. The design itself is a work of art. The obverse features Eisenhower's strong profile, while the reverse showcases the majestic eagle landing on the moon, a nod to the Apollo 11 mission. This symbolic representation ties together military, presidential, and space exploration history. This makes the coin appealing not just for its monetary value, but also for its story. It's a piece of American heritage that brings together multiple chapters of the 20th century. What makes a 1971 Eisenhower dollar cross the threshold from a dollar to a collector's dream? It's the perfect combination of rarity, condition, demand, and often a touch of luck. Some coins, particularly those in high mint state grades, can reach astronomical figures. Now here's the jaw-dropping part. There exists an extremely rare 1971 Eisenhower dollar that was struck on a silver planchet by mistake. It has been authenticated and graded as being in near-perfect condition. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist. Each one is incredibly rare, and collectors have gone to great lengths to get their hands on one. These coins rarely appear in auctions, but when they do, they cause a bidding frenzy. In one such auction, a near-flawless 1971 Eisenhower silver dollar sold for an amount that stunned even seasoned collectors. It wasn't just a rare variety, it was a perfect storm of condition, composition, and historical significance. The next time you come across a dollar coin from 1971, take a closer look. What may seem like a simple relic of the past could turn out to be a life-changing discovery. Check for the mint mark, inspect the surface, look for anything unusual. Who knows? You might be holding a rare gem in your very hands without even knowing it. And now, as promised, let's talk about the most mind-blowing sale ever recorded for this coin. One exceptional 1971 Eisenhower dollar, due to its flawless mint condition, rarity, and being struck on a silver planchet, was sold for an astonishing $255,000. Top 2. Let's take a trip back in time to the year 1972, a year full of change, innovation, and hidden treasures. Among the treasures born in that year is a coin that might just be hiding in someone's drawer right now. It's the 1972 Eisenhower $1 coin, and its story is more fascinating than you might imagine at first glance. This coin looks like any other piece of currency. It's big, it's heavy, and it carries the face of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. But underneath its metallic surface lies a world of value, history, and mystery that has captivated collectors for decades. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar was part of a series that began in 1971 and continued through 1978. It was the first dollar coin to be issued in the U.S. since 1935, and it was a way of honoring the late President Eisenhower after his death in 1969. But what really sets the 1972 issue apart isn't just who is on the coin. It's how it was made, the errors that occurred, and the variations that have emerged over time. It's these very details that transform a basic dollar into something worth thousands. Unlike paper money, coins can hold value not just because of the metal they're made from, but because of where, when, and how they were minted. And the 1972 Eisenhower dollar is a perfect example of how something ordinary can become extraordinary. Now, the Eisenhower dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced its own version, marked with a small letter near the bottom of Eisenhower's neckline. The absence of a letter means it was minted in Philadelphia. For the 1972 coin, the Philadelphia Mint released a version that would become one of the most important discoveries in U.S. numismatic history. Why? Because of a design issue that led to the creation of not one, but 3 distinct reverse types. These 3 reverse designs, known to collectors as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, may appear almost identical at a glance, but upon closer inspection, their differences are striking, and their rarity varies dramatically. Type 1 features a rather rough and low-relief rendering of the Earth on the coin's reverse, where an eagle is landing on the moon, a tribute to the Apollo 11 mission. Type 3, which came later, had more detail and clarity, but it's Type 2 that has become the holy grail for collectors. Only a small number were struck before the mint realized the mistake and switched the design. This version has a smoother, almost flattened Earth and fewer details, making it easy to miss, but incredibly rare. Type 2 was struck using a proof die intended for collector coins, but was mistakenly used on regular circulation coins. As a result, very few were ever made, and even fewer survived in pristine condition. Collectors all over the world have spent years searching for this elusive Type 2 1972 Eisenhower dollar. It's the kind of discovery that can turn a lucky find into a massive payday. Now let's talk about condition, because when it comes to valuable coins, condition is everything. A well-circulated coin might still be worth something, but it's the mint state coins, the ones with no wear, original shine, and sharp detail, that truly command the highest prices. To assess condition, experts use grading scales. One of the most trusted scales ranges from 1 to 70. Coins that grade MS65 or higher are considered high quality, and anything MS67 or above is rare and extremely valuable. If you happen to own a 1972 Eisenhower dollar and it's in near-perfect condition, it might be time to take a closer look. And if it turns out to be a Type 2, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Let's not forget the San Francisco Mint Special Editions. These proof coins, often struck in 40% silver, were never meant for general circulation. They were produced for collectors, and many were preserved in flawless condition. Even among the proofs, there are rare varieties and errors. Misstrikes, off-center coins, and double dies can all contribute to a coin's value. Some of these are visible only under magnification, while others are obvious at first glance. One of the most thrilling aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of finding a rare coin in an unexpected place. A coin jar, a family collection, a garage sale. These are places where treasures have been uncovered before. Imagine flipping through an old album or coin roll and spotting a 1972 Eisenhower dollar. Most would see it as just another coin, but a trained eye, or just a lucky one, might see a rare Type 2 that no one else noticed. It's like holding a piece of history in your hand. The weight, the design, and the story behind the coin all come together to create something far greater than face value. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar doesn't just celebrate a president. It celebrates an era, space exploration, American strength, and a shift in how coins were made and collected. Beyond its historical significance, it's also a symbol of how something ordinary can be extraordinary under the right circumstances. That's why collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts continue to hunt for these coins to this day. There are even stories of people cashing in their pocket change and accidentally giving away valuable coins without knowing it. Others have found coins worth thousands hiding in plain sight. That's why knowledge is power when it comes to numismatics. Each Eisenhower dollar has a story to tell. Whether it was used in a vending machine, sat in a bank vault, or ended up in someone's collection, its journey adds depth to its value. So next time you come across a dollar coin from 1972, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take a moment. Look at the details. Check for that rare earth on the reverse. And if you think it might be a Type 2, well, you might want to get it professionally graded. Because here's the truth. A 1972 Eisenhower dollar, in pristine mint condition, with the elusive Type 2 reverse, once sold at auction for a breathtaking $245,000. Top 3. There's something magical about discovering hidden treasure in the most unexpected places. And sometimes, that treasure is disguised as a simple coin, one that may have passed through countless hands without anyone knowing its true value. Today, we're uncovering the incredible story behind the 1974 Eisenhower $1 coin. At first glance, it may not look like much. It's big, it's silver-colored, and it features a bold portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. But don't be fooled. This isn't just pocket change. It's a coin with a story, one that could turn into a life-changing discovery for the right person. The Eisenhower dollar series ran from 1971 to 1978. Each year brought its own variations and surprises, and the 1974 issue is no exception. In fact, it's one of the most fascinating entries in the entire series. The coin was designed not only to honor President Eisenhower, but also to celebrate one of America's greatest achievements, the Apollo 11 moon landing. That's why, on the reverse side, you'll find an eagle landing on the surface of the moon, a powerful symbol of American pride. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1974 Eisenhower dollar so special. Unlike some of the earlier years that had significant die variations, the value of the 1974 coin lies more in its condition, rarity, and production quirks. The coin was minted at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, in San Francisco. You can identify the mint by checking for the small letter beneath Eisenhower's neck. A D stands for Denver, an S for San Francisco, and no letter at all means it came from Philadelphia. The coins minted in Philadelphia and Denver were released for general circulation, made with a copper-nickel-clad composition. But the San Francisco Mint also produced special collector editions, including proof and uncirculated versions struck in 40% silver. These silver collector coins weren't meant to be spent in stores or circulated in cash registers. They were sold in sets to collectors, carefully sealed in plastic to preserve their flawless condition. But sometimes, mistakes happen, even in the highly controlled environment of a mint. And when they do, those mistakes can turn a regular coin into a numismatic legend. Some 1974 Eisenhower dollars were struck with misaligned dies, double dies, or even the wrong planchet material. These rare mint errors make those coins incredibly valuable, especially if they're in mint condition. Another factor that boosts the value of a 1974 Eisenhower dollar is its grading. Coins are professionally graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Anything above 65 is considered very high quality. The closer to 70, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Finding a 1974 Eisenhower dollar in MS-67 or higher is incredibly rare. Most coins that were used in circulation show signs of wear, scratches, fading, and loss of shine. But if you happen to own a coin that's been carefully preserved since 1974, it's worth a closer look. The proof versions of the coin, especially those with the S mint mark, are stunning. They were struck multiple times under special conditions to bring out every detail in the design. The mirror-like background and frosted portrait give these coins a beautiful contrast. Collectors love these proof coins for their craftsmanship, but even more so for their investment potential. Some proofs, when found in perfect condition with unique traits, have been sold for jaw-dropping amounts. But let's not forget about the coins that were released into circulation. While they may not have the same flawless appearance as proofs, they can still be incredibly valuable, especially if they feature an error or are in higher grade condition. One of the most exciting parts about collecting Eisenhower dollars is that anyone could own a rare one and not even know it. They've been passed down through families, tossed in coin jars, and forgotten in drawers for decades. People have literally found rare Eisenhower dollars at garage sales, flea markets, and even in pocket change. All it takes is a little knowledge and a sharp eye to spot a valuable one. So what should you look for in a valuable 1974 Eisenhower dollar? Start with the condition. If it looks brand new, that's a good sign. Then check for any mint marks, unique features, or anything that looks different from the average coin. Next, consider having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade certification can dramatically increase a coin's market value and make it more desirable to collectors and investors alike. Another interesting aspect of the 1974 issue is its place in the transition of American currency. The Eisenhower dollar was the last large-sized dollar coin produced for general circulation. After it ended, the U.S. moved on to smaller, lighter coins like the Susan B. Anthony dollar. That gives the 1974 Eisenhower dollar added historical importance. It represents the end of an era both in coinage and in design philosophy. It was big, bold, and patriotic, something that's hard to find in modern coins. The coin size also made it unique among pocket change. It was larger and heavier than most other coins in circulation, making it feel substantial when you held it. And for many collectors, that physical heft adds to its nostalgic value. As the years go by, fewer of these coins remain in top condition. Most have been scratched, dropped, or exposed to the elements. That's why uncirculated or mint condition coins from 1974 are becoming more rare and more valuable. In recent years, there's been a resurgence in interest for Eisenhower dollars, especially from new collectors who are learning about the hidden gems in American coin history. Demand is rising, and so are prices. The coin market, much like the stock market, is influenced by supply, demand, and perception. And right now, collectors are seeing the 1974 Eisenhower dollar as an underrated treasure with huge potential. There are even communities and online forums dedicated to finding, grading, and discussing these coins. Videos, photos, and guides are helping people recognize the difference between a common dollar and a small fortune. If you have one of these coins tucked away, now is the time to take a second look. It might just be your lucky day. Because while most 1974 Eisenhower dollars are worth a few dollars at most, there is one version that shattered expectations. A flawless, high-grade example, struck in perfect condition, with no errors, no scratches, and a bold strike, was once sold for an unbelievable $225,000.